Hi Scorpio, welcome back and welcome to another reading. This will be your general reading for February 2024 for those of you who have a Scorpio sun, moon, or rising. If you don't have one of those placements and it's the title or the thumbnail that led you to click onto this video, like we always say here at The Way Out Tarot, stick around, even if it's not your sign. If you felt called to click on this, there may be something here that you can take away from this reading. If you'd like to support this channel, you may do so by watching an ad or two whenever it comes up. If you watch an ad, I'll really know you fuck with me because, none of us like ads. But let's go ahead and get started. Always gotta get a good shuffle first. The Devil and the Eight of Swords. So, I don't want you to be startled by seeing the Devil card come out first for you. All that this means to me is that this is just a period of growth for you. This is a season of growth for you. This is a season in which you must take a look at the things in your life that need changing. And one thing about you, and I feel like I really need to be careful, because I think that when other people feel like they are comfortable enough to tell you what you need to fix or tell you what you need to change, that's when you pull back. And I don't think that you really listen in those moments. So I feel like I really need to be careful and just understand that I'm saying all of this from a place of love and from a place of care and from a place of understanding that everything that I talk about here is only a suggestion, and that the decision at the end of the day lies with you. Please don't forget that. And if, seeing the Devil card was something that scared you away, those of you who are still here, like I said, I'm just going to reiterate, you have all of the power, you have all of the control. This is your life. I'm not trying to dictate. I'm just trying to communicate what I see here in the cards. So, very diplomatic energy, that I'm embodying, but I think it also has to do with something in these cards and your particular energy, really being careful. So let's talk about the Devil card and the Hangman for a moment. There are some things that you're doing that need to stop, or that you at least need to ease up on. And I don't think that I'm the first person who needs to be telling you this. I think that you are, what's the word I'm looking for? You wised up, so I don't think that you really need anyone else's input or need anyone else's opinion. This is something that you know about. We got the Hangman and the Upright. This is enlightenment. So you're very much in the know about what your demons are, is how this is reading to me. Now, what you do from this space is what is so critical, right? Knowing that something needs to be different or that something needs to change is a very different thing than actually taking the steps to bring about that change. Page of Wands, it looks like you're willing. Eight of Pentacles, it looks like you're actually putting in the work. And Ace of Wands, it looks like this is, Who would have thought? Like doing the work would actually lead to some rewards and would actually lead to some other opportunities. So these first five cards are reading to me like it would be in your own best interest. It would be to your benefit to listen to yourself and to take the conclusions that you yourself have come to seriously. You know everything that you need to know about the things that have been holding you back, about the things that have been a boon in your plan. And you're also at the same time, which is a very beautiful thing to see, willing to do what you need to do to rectify that, to correct that. And in doing so, God blesses you. In doing so, you're recognized and you're seen. Temperance, that's absolutely beautiful. So there could be a Sagittarius who is involved, not necessarily, doesn't have to be a person, but could just be representative of, I'm gonna hold this closer because I know the lighting is not ideal, but this could just be representative of the balance you have found. You've been able to strike a balance here. You've been able to find peace during a hectic time. And you haven't allowed your criticisms of yourself to get in the way of you doing what needs to be done. Especially where your relationships are concerned. I think that you have a firm handle, you have a very firm grasp. This is super random, but I'm being reminded of, do you remember, if you ever seen Harry Potter, I think it was I don't remember which movie it is, but it's the movie where, or the book where his aunt comes to visit the family, comes to visit the Dursleys. It's Mr. Dursley's sister, the one that is just constantly insulting Harry, and he ends up blowing her up like a balloon, and she floats away. Her name is Marge. So there's a scene where she like breaks the brandy glass because she has a very firm grasp. And I'm just being reminded of that. Like, you have a very firm grasp on your relationships. You have a very firm grasp on these steps you're taking, the decisions you're making. It's like the accountability and the responsibility all falls to you. Like, it all has everything to do with you. You're taking control. You are taking power, putting yourself in a position of power, and you don't give a fuck what anyone thinks or what everyone else has to say, or what anyone else wants to do, or how anyone else wants to feel about it. I think that all of the bullshit that transpired is all just water under the bridge to you. You have more or less understood or accepted that this is just the way these people are. This is just how they are built, and there is nothing that you can do to change them. There's nothing that you can do to make them see the light. And all that you can do is really just operate from a place of compassion, strength card, and just understand that there's more growth that needs to happen with them, and then just give them space to do that without allowing their how do I want to say this, without allowing their ideals to pollute you or infect you. What are you creating here? Your voice. And it's a beautiful one. There are people who, seek status. There are people who work towards they try to build on their reputation. They try to make a name for themselves, and they try to, kind of hone or build this kind of gravitas that other people will respect in them. But for you, it's like, I think you're doing it for a completely different reason. You're doing it for the right reason. You're doing it because it's the right thing to do. And I think that that's a very beautiful thing. But my opinion aside, I'm gonna take a moment to look at these again and just digest all that we pulled tonight, and we'll talk about these again. Hold on. Hi. So we're back to talk about your cards one more time. Excuse me. I've organized them in a way that makes sense to me, and I hope that you guys have been liking this particular format. And we're going to take it section by section and just talk about what I see here and why I grouped them the way that I did. And I hope you find this useful. I am going to open up the comment section probably maybe sometime in March just to get your feedback. Because it's all for you at the end of the day. So I want to know, like what's working and what's not as we talk about all of these. So we're going to start up here in the top left with the Devil card and the Hanged Man. And this is a very interesting dichotomy because the Devil card speaks of someone who is at the mercy of their addictions, someone who isn't in control, someone who is, they give in to the things that feel good. That's what this is all about. And these are those things that we were talking about in the first part that you perhaps need to take a look at or that you need to change. And why did I default to saying that there are the things that you need to change? It's because these people, these two figures, they are chained. And I think that that is not a good position for anyone to be in. It doesn't matter what it is. I don't know what it is. I don't know your situation, but like any situation that you're chained in is not a good one, and you need to look at that. Those chains can be emotional. I'm not talking about physical chains. I'm talking about you, like it's become a part of your personality. I feel like for some of you, because like it's so in the foreground. So the Hangman, it's interesting because like we have this card which is talking about someone who is not in control, and this is about someone who has voluntarily put themselves in a very compromising position. And you maybe feel as though you have been victimized, or like you are the victim in whatever this situation is. But there's also this kind of understanding that you have about the whole thing that I find it like I have to believe that you know why all of this is happening. So if you're trying to spin this whole story to try to make it like, if you're trying to like, maybe curry sympathy amongst your friends, like cut that out. Like you're too smart for that. Especially if you're the one that who people typically go to for guidance or assistance. Like they're not gonna buy that you just don't have control over what's happening to you. It's not real. You do. That's bullshit. And I love you and I care about you. That's why I'm saying that. And I think that you should care about how you present. And I think that these are things that you should think about. I think that these are things that you should want to change within yourself. One of my biggest pet peeves and issues with the whole tarot and, astrology community is that people want to know your sign, and then there are all of these characteristics that they associate with your sign. Good characteristics and bad characteristics, the positive and the negative. And they feel as though if they know your sign, they have an easy in understanding who you are. But I think that those of us who understand that these signs, they're not just a means to categorize ourselves. Like the negative things about our nature that are represented by these signs, what good is the knowledge of knowing that these are the negative characteristics if we don't actually work to change them? And I think that that's what it's really all about. It never really takes that additional step to try to expand and evolve. And that's why I think a lot of my videos don't maybe really make it that far, is because like a lot of people aren't ready. So if you're here, you're ready. And that leads us to the Page of Wands and the Eight of Pentacles. This looks like someone who is ready. This looks like someone who is willing to do the work. This looks like someone who has been consistent, someone who has been dedicated. And I think that you've been following through, like you're making good on your promises. The shit that you tell people that you're gonna do is the shit that you actually do. And I think that even like you don't need to there's no need for micromanaging of any kind here, whatever that is. Like they don't need to moderate you or make sure that you're gonna like do the shit that you said that you were gonna do, because you actually want to do it, and it's a very beautiful thing. So because you want to do it and because you're doing so well, I think that you're presenting as this very emotionally intelligent person. You're presenting as this person who is very cognizant of what their bandwidth is. You're not writing checks with your mouth that your ass can't cash. And it's for that reason that there are these very beautiful opportunities being presented to you. Like you're seen, you're known, you're known, you're understood. They get you. So for some of you out there, like some of you watching this, I feel like you might have been worried, like, do they even know how seriously I take this? Or do they even know like how hard I ride? Or do they even know like how committed I am? Or how, how much I care? If that's a concern that you have, let's lay that concern to rest in this instant, because it's seen and it's known. That's what these 4 cards are telling me. 4 of Pentacles, 7 of Wands, and the Fool. I think that a fear that we all have in common is that we'll have to start over, or that we'll have to start from scratch. And I think that a lot of times, the positions we take or the perspectives we have, it can be a bit lonely when people don't join us in those perspectives, or when people don't, see things the way that we see them, or they don't defend it as ardently as you do. So it can be a bit lonely at times, but these are the moments where you absolutely have to keep doing what you're doing and keep standing up for what you believe in, even if no one else is agreeing with you, because you're sane. And I think that you really need to remember that. Well, let me plug this in. Really need to remember that. And I think that as long as there is someone who has a particular opinion or perspective, it's valuable, and it should be considered. 2 of Wands, Page of Cups, 6 of Cups, High Priestess, and the Strength card. You need to stand by your decisions. I think that there's a reason why you decided to handle something a certain way. There's a reason why you're handling something a certain way. I think that you are making these decisions based on evidence. You're making these decisions based on what someone has shown you. as far as, what they're willing to bring to the table. Nothing is open to interpretation. It's a matter of historical record. So it's very hard for someone to lie to you or conceal something to you or conceal something from you when you have witnessed their track record or track history. Seven of Cups, Knight of Cups, the Magician, the Knight of Swords, and the Queen of Pentacles. It's challenging, you know. It is challenging having to make up your mind and decide what you want to throw all of your energy and support behind. It can be at times. For you, I don't think it really is that difficult. I think that you already really know this is kind of your element. It's interesting. It's like decisions that would be hard for other people to make. It's just like you understand all of these underlying or hidden ramifications or consequences that really help you in making a informed and smart decision. And I think that you want people to understand that you're willing to help, that you're willing to assist, that you have good intentions. I just don't want you to listen, you don't need to explain yourself. You don't need to prove yourself to anybody. And if no one else has told you that, let me be the first. There are these people who I think that you maybe idolize, these people who you maybe really want to help, and it's just you want to get them to value your opinion or value your input, but you just need to understand that the advice that you're giving is coming from a good place and it's coming from a place of love. And if someone doesn't want to take that or accept that, then that's their fucking problem. It's not a reflection it's not a referendum on your character. It's not a reflection of who you are as a person. You tried. And I just don't want you to hold it against yourself when you can't relate to people. Like, that's them and you're you. And I think that you should always carry yourself with respect. Watch the words you choose. There's something here like I want to talk for a moment about your digital footprint. I think that what is in your vernacular? Like, what is in your vocabulary? Like, how are you talking? Are you Banji? Are you hood rat? Or are you someone of class and someone of breeding and intelligence? You know what I'm saying? So it's just, man, like, first impressions are everything. And you don't want someone to think that you're common. So don't talk like a commoner. Hold yourself in a higher regard, have higher standards. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. You deserve to be respected, and you should speak as such. Till next time.